Sorry about that, everybody. We are back with Brenda Nibley from Ginger Giddy. We just had kind of a recap of what you just said. You have been into making gingerbread houses for 25 years. Started out just as a family tradition, and then you kind of grew more curious and wanted to know everything you could do, which is a lot, on a gingerbread house. And then 4 years ago, you started a business.
I did. I started a business called Ginger Giddy, and really, I'm passionate about working with the gingerbread and all the different materials, but the thing I love the very, very most, and that's what drives me, I love to make people happy. And whether that's when they're getting their own house or they're building something that I've given them a kit for, or I'm teaching a class, people get so proud of themselves when they're able to create things like this.
I love this. So you give, on your website, you have options for kits. You even have a subscription. So people get kits for an entire year.
Yep.
Tell me about different options on your website.
Oh, we have kit subscriptions, and we've got all the different holidays. We've got Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, we have a fairy house, we have a 4th of July house. A lot of fun options there. And these are 2 of the kits for Christmas, these little ones up here. And that's what's available right now. So I have kits. I also teach classes. I'll come to your house and do any sort of like I'll work off of a kit and do that, or I can teach you something completely that you want me to teach you. Because I start from scratch on all this.
So this is not just pre-made gingerbread.
Oh,
you
no,
bake
no.
everything at home. You could even make custom houses, I read, right? I mean,
yeah.
Do people just send pictures of what they want
When
their
I
house
started
possibly?
my business, there was a designer that lived up the street from me, and I said, I took her a Halloween house, and I said, I'm thinking about starting a business. Would you buy something like this? And she loved it, and she goes, can you do people's homes? And when she said that, I heard myself say yes, but I was thinking, no, because I'm not an architect and I'm not a builder. I don't know what I'm doing there, but I took a total leap of faith, and I said, sure. And I did a bunch of orders for her clients for that Christmas, and it was great.
And now you're even doing that through your website, right?
Yeah, we do customs, and I do the kits, and I teach the classes, and I'm starting a series of online course videos, which are really inexpensive and a great way, like this house in particular, I just finished filming that one. And from start to finish, you'll learn how to do that.
Okay, seriously amazing. I love that you have options to do kits, because if you're not, creative, like myself, I wouldn't even know where to begin. So if you have instructions, you have, where to put what and then what to do next. And you're going to be learning some tips and tricks here in just a few minutes after the next commercial break. But I just want to find out, how do people get involved in the website? How do they pick out their houses? How do they, want to ask for a custom house?
Well, I'm just one person right now, and my website isn't fully functioning, but it's getting there. The very, very best way to talk to me about what we've got is give me a call. My cell phone, I think I've given you my number, and email. If you have any questions about anything, or if you want me to do a certain type of class or house, I respond to emails all the time.
I know, you're very quick on emails, I know from personal experience. All right, Brenda Nibley, we have firsthand tips and tricks on how she builds her gingerbread houses. That's coming up right after this break. Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. We have the master of gingerbread houses right here, Brenda Nibley from Ginger Giddy. She is sharing her personal tips on how to have a successful gingerbread house.
Yeah, I've got really basic, wonderful tricks. A lot of people are scared to make a gingerbread house. Why? Because they get heavy and they, fall over. So I've got a great trick that I'm going to teach you in just a second. But my first trick, you can design any house you want to. Just use some graph paper, sketch something out, just make sure that the roof line matches all the way around. Anything that you see in a photograph or a book, just kind of copy that.
Okay.
And then you can cut the graph paper out, or even a piece of parchment paper, and turn that into your pattern.
Okay, graph paper is perfect because you can follow your straight lines and not have any wobbly walls.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how you do that. And then when I roll my dough, I didn't bring any dough with me today, but I roll it quite thin, like probably 3/8 of an inch.
Okay.
Typically gingerbread house pieces are quite thick.
And they don't puff up? Are they going to stay thin?
This is not my typical thin. It's a little bit thicker than normal.
Okay.
But it's really good, because what happens, the piece is a lot sturdier. When you get a thicker piece that you're trying to bake, the middle does not bake through, and then it will not be strong.
Okay.
And you said it yourself. You picked up one of these pieces, and it's quite sturdy.
It is sturdy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crispy gingerbread cookie, and it's really durable for putting on all the fun stuff.
Now, maybe the most important question I have here, how does it taste?
Oh my gosh.
Amazing. Can I bite off the roof?
Sure.
You can hear the snap.
Yeah, it's snappy.
Okay.
Yeah.
What other tips do we have? Something that I thought was really interesting about baking.
Yes. The baking is really fun to do. Okay, so always use parchment paper.
Okay.
One of the problems people have is when they roll out their pieces, they'll pick them up and then move them to the baking sheet. You don't want to do that because they're going to warp. And when you're working with something as exact as this, it's better to just leave it alone after you've cut it. You're going to put it on the back of a baking tray, and let's pretend that this hasn't been snacked on. And I just brought it out from the oven. No, it's good. So voila. And this is why I do the back of the baking sheet. Literally slide it off.
Here I am about to catch it, but you were doing that on purpose.
And then put your hot pan on top of the piece as it cools.
How did you learn to do this? Did you just have an instinct like, I'm just going to try this upside down for a minute?
I just did, well, because I was thinking, I noticed that gingerbread pieces, when they cool, they would kind of bow up, like the edges and the corners. And I just thought, well, it makes sense to put the hot pan on top of it. And then as it cools, it's perfectly flat.
Wow.
And you get pieces like this.
I love
So look at
that. It's a win-win. You slide it off easier,
Yeah.
no edges, and then you lay it on top to keep it flat
Yeah.
and straight.
Yeah.
Okay, and then after the baking.
Yes, after the
What
baking.
happens?
Things have cooled. Don't put your house together until you've decorated all the sides. I kind of put this one together just for today, but the best thing to do is literally keep them flat right here and take your piping bag and work on them as they're flat. Do all the fun detail and all the decoration, because then you won't have the problem of things sagging and falling off.
Okay, so this is royal icing, right?
This is royal icing.
So it should dry hard. It shouldn't be, you know, like buttercream.
Right, no. And buttercream is, because it's made with butter, is not good to use with gingerbread because it'll absorb the oil and things won't stay together. It'll make the gingerbread soft.
Okay, so we're designing our house flat. You start piping. Let's get to the structure, because that's the scariest part for most of us.
Yeah.
You have this gorgeous, can I do some piping just for fun?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Here you go.
You have this gorgeous gingerbread house, and now you have to put it together, which is very, very scary. What kind of tips do you have for people who are putting together? This isn't coming out. I'm a little scared.
Push harder.
Okay.
Get your muscles into
Use my
it.
muscles.
It's a little bit cold because it's been in the car, but there you
right.
go. So you're getting like a forearm workout too.
Yes, I am. Okay, so we're putting together the house.
Putting together the house. I would decorate all the pieces and then
Okay.
let them stay overnight if you're not in a rush to put the house together.
And why do you say that? Just to give the icing some time?
Give it plenty of time to dry and things won't fall off.
Okay.
Once you've got all your decorated pieces, you can start to put together your house like you did here. And what I do is I start over my board and I'll make a perfect square angle. And I look over it and I look down here and make sure everything lines up. And when everything's lined up perfectly, that's when I'll put it together. And here's my biggest trick, and this will change your life, I promise.
And you know,
I
'cause you've
do.
made a lot of gingerbread houses.
Whoops. There we go. See how durable that is?
Yes.
Okay, when you're putting together a house, this will save your life, particularly when it comes to the roof. Go up the ends of the pieces, but leave the top exposed,
Okay, why is that?
because I'm going to show you a little trick. But just
Is this hot glue?
This is hot glue, not edible, but we're going to this is temporary hot glue, just a tiny dot. Look at that. And then nestle your piece on there and let the hot glue touch.
Okay.
And while your icing is drying, it keeps it stable.
Okay, and then what? You pick it out? Do you eat it?
No, you let it sit overnight, and you can take out all the hot glue dots that you made the day before. And
This is a terrible
completely
piping
edible.
job. I'm just gonna quit.
I'm sure it's the icing. It's not you. It's not you.
Thank you. Okay, so you put in a little dab of hot glue to
Just a
keep
little
your
dot.
sides together. Then tomorrow you pick it out. How long do you let it
Yeah, I'd let it
rest?
sit for probably about 12 hours or something, at least 2, so the icing has a chance to make a crust on it. And then we're going to do the same thing here with this roof.
This is our roof, huh? Mm-hmm. It's very.
So why don't you take
not
this
pretty.
bag and squeeze a line right there, and then leave the very tops of the gingerbread exposed.
For the hot glue, yeah.
We do it that way because the hot glue works better if it's not touching icing.
Okay.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Look at that. You're a pro.
Clearly, I've never piped a thing in my life.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm adding just a little
You're
extra.
Good. And you want to do the dot?
I would love to.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
A little dab.
Any other tips that we should know?
And, well, I'll tell you as soon as I can see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. And that's where the chimney would go. But yeah, literally just pinch those hot glue points together up at the top. And you won't worry about your roof sliding off.
That is amazing. I don't know if I would want to pick this one out, but you do? So you can eat it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then after you put your house together, it's supposed to be already completely decorated, so then you're just done. You're just adding finishing touches if you think you don't like something. Let's talk about just final details. What kinds of things should you be adding to your gingerbread house?
Well, there are always going to be imperfections, and I think people get frustrated when things don't look perfect. But literally, you have your best friend, which is the icing.
Okay.
And more is more when it comes to a gingerbread house. Just cover it in icing, get intricate detail work done with your candies, with all those extra details.
And you have, I mean,
those are rocks for the
colorful
pathway.
rocks.
Yeah.
You have lights, which I think is ingenious.
Yeah.
You have lights you can see over here.
Yeah.
You've strung them around the doorway, you've strung them around the roofs.
Yeah.
Where do you buy these?
You know what? I got those on Amazon, and they are great. I've been buying lights, you know, for years to put in my houses. These are the best because they're just like a little zipper
they're light.
outside.
Okay, and you also have beads, you have piping, you have spray painted pine cones, little gingerbread man, rocks, decor, you have everything.
Yeah.
And you can get all of this on her website or call her, send her an email, ask for a custom house, ask for a kit. You can even have a subscription to get a gingerbread house for every single holiday.
Yeah.
This is a perfect way to add up some spice in your home for the holidays.
It is perfect.
Brenda, thank you for your tips. I can't believe this upside down trick, sliding off the gingerbread, keeping the pan on top, and then the hot glue gun.
Yeah.
Ingenious, seriously. All right, thank you so much,
you
Brenda,
so
for
much.
coming
This
on the
has
show.
been very fun.
I hope to see you again.
I hope so too.
All right, guys, go to her website, send her an email, send her a text message. Get your gingerbread houses for this Christmas from Ginger Giddy. Brenda, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we have tips on how to keep your holiday safe right after this.